Hi folks, this is Doc Neeson from the Angels. Stay tuned, we've got a few words from Brent, Rick, James, Bob and Doc on Redback Fever.
Tear me apart.
Tear me apart.
Tear me apart.
Tear me apart. Kind of says it all, really, doesn't it?
Yes, didn't you come up with that, Bob, in Handy Park, Memphis, one of those nights we were playing there?
That's right. I recall coming up with that riff while we were having a blow in WC Handy Park, which was, as Rick said, rightfully so, in Memphis, Tennessee, home of the Blues and home of the Angels for a good 6 months. So the riff appeared that night, and the rest of it turned out while I was in the shower a couple of months later.
When we were thinking about doing Some of That Love for the video for it, there was a naval base down south of Sydney, near Nowra, called Albatross, and I'd been there doing some gliding once, and I saw all these derelict old airplanes and thought it might be a chance to ride in a helicopter, so we talked about it, and Brent rang them up and sweet talked them into it, and I got to ride in the helicopter, and we got to make a video for... in fantastic circumstances. Rick gets F-18s flying past his head for free.
Yeah, they literally came right past us.
Apparently it's highly illegal to actually stand on the runway, but of course you didn't hear it here. Yeah, this film was made by professionals, and do not attempt this thing in the comfort of your bedroom.
Once Bitten, Twice Shy was something we've jammed with the News guys for quite a while, and I found out when we were doing the song that Mott the Hoople, of whom Ian Hunter was a part, used to begin and end their set with a low, and I notice as it happens they've left in the mix the goodbye that I put in there. So I guess who knows, the Angels might be ending their set with Twice Shy.
The other thing about Ian Hunter is that he and Mick Ronson have always wanted to produce the Angels. In fact, I think it was for the Darkroom album.
Yeah.
Producers on that. And I think even for Night Attack. Shame, we should have used them.
Yeah, Charlton, yeah. Redback Spiders.
Old song.
Old.
Used to be Money.
Oh, yeah. That was, sorry, James.
Live line. During the
There
live
you
line.
go, Brent. Take it away.
On the live line tour we did, but that in '87, I think it was '88, around the live line album, we finished the set with a song called Money. We'd throw money out in the audience, and real money, and
Wasn't a very profitable tour.
we decided we didn't like the hook line, "Show Me the Money," so we ditched that, and Rick came up with "Child in You." It's the dark horse on the album. It's sort of come up from where it was when we started recording it to where it's gone. It's probably made the biggest leap of any song on the record.
Lying Awake in Bed.
The line came from Brent while we were rehearsing for the writing of Beyond Salvation. He came in one day and said, "I've got this fabulous line. He had some lyrics, and it basically stemmed from that. We put his lyrics together with a groove I had, and off we went. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think it was the first song we attempted for in the writing of Beyond Salvation.
It could have been too.
Didn't get much further than that. But
As soon as we seriously got into it, it was Beatles all over. It just had to go that way.
If you're looking for a difference between Beyond Salvation and this album, it's tracks like Lying Awake in Bed that is the difference. Because the rest, Lying Awake in Bed and the ballad, which is Hold On, because the rest picks up in a rock and roll sense pretty much where Beyond Salvation left you. Well, one of the classic things about Bedroom After Bedroom is it's probably the classic Angels song in terms of the style of the guitars. And I might even ask a question of Bob and Rick, actually how you get that style, what actually makes that style.
Well, it's a Rick riff. I think that's pretty obvious, don't you?
Yeah.
It's really obvious.
It's also very easy to play.
It's one of those riffs that we have to play absolutely together and tight, and it's a quick song too. It's got a fast pace, and it's
It's got little
nice,
choppy
nasty
rhythms and knick-knicks.
We call them knick-knicks.
Well, I remember being up here in Sydney when the guys were down in Melbourne mixing the album, and I got a message on my answering machine saying, "Hey, what do you think about calling the album Redback Fever?" And I went, "Why?" So maybe somebody could tell me.
I stumbled across a book called Redback Fever, written by an old scientist who lived in the 1800s, died in the early 1900s, and it was called Redback Fever, and it was about redbacks, and in particular about redback mutations or redbacks that had evolved into large size, very large spiders. And we thought, what a great title, Redback Fever. So we wrote a song about it.
The theme of the redback permeates the album.
Although you're right, the song didn't begin as Redback Fever. It began as something else entirely.
Yeah.
And in fact, we sang Break That Fever, didn't we? And while we were singing that as a backing vocal, Brent suddenly said, "That sounds like Redback Fever." So we went back and redid them all. Don't Need You.
Don't Need You.
Oh, great, Jack. This is great. I like this one. This has got a fantastic groove. It's, in fact, the first thing that we played with James after he'd come over from Perth, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first track we played with him. It's just one of those fantastic Angels grooves. It's pretty much a band song, and it one of those things I'm really looking forward to playing live.
I Don't Need You, Baby, not to be confused with I Don't Need Your Baby.
Or I Don't Need Ja, Baby. There's no religious overtones in this song.
I remember Steve Marriott when he was alive, mate, and he looked dead then. Actually, the night I saw Steve Marriott, he was doing his best to eat humble pie at this, except he was eating the makings of it. Looked like he was consuming a lot of flour, but I was told later on it wasn't. But it seemed to produce a certain amount of chemistry in him. We were doing this show with him in just out of New York, and there was this monsoonal torrential storm hit the place and cooked half the electric wiring in the place, and we were supposed to go on stage about 9 o'clock, and it wasn't until about midnight before they fixed the wiring. In the meantime, Steve proceeded to consume as much powdery chemicals and alcoholic liquor as his body could manage. By the time he hit the stage, I mean, he was fried, but he still did a fantastic version on this song, Natural Born Woman, and I think he's got one of the greatest voices in rock and roll.
Oh, terrible redback story, this one.
Well, High and Dry, we first performed that with James singing that song, and we actually thought that James would sing the song on the album, but Doc's vocal performances on this record were so and done with such ease that it didn't seem quite right to have James sing, although he did it really well. So Doc ended up taking the vocal on that, and James went in and did the B-side of Once Bitten, Twice Shy. But in general terms, the vocals on this album, I think, are probably the best Doc's ever done.
Actually, I had a lot of fun doing this song, because when I was doing the vocals, I used to sort of step into various characters of singers that I liked, and one of the people I fancied might do a great version of this song was Jerry Lee Lewis. So I had Jerry Lee come along and sing with me.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Hold on.
It was, again, this came out of the writing we actually wrote this while we were recording the album in Memphis. It was Brent who originally thought that we should do some sort of ballad.
I had no idea of what the song would be. I just said, this sort of emotion, this sort of tempo, we need something like that. And then we just sat down and
changed the tempo.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
from 4/4 to 6/12/8, and
But we never
came up
finished
with
it,
this.
which is why it didn't get on the album on Beyond Salvation. We didn't finish it at the time.
Well, when you consider that with Beyond Salvation, we had a lot of options open to us, and we just really, it was confusing to decide on which songs we should finish. And this is one that we thought, look, this is going to be an absolute killer track, rather than rush it and maybe get something that we're not totally pleased with. Let's just live with it for a little while and complete it when we complete it. And we got around to finishing it a couple of months ago, and it's another great Doc performance too.
No more words.
No more words.
Fantastic lyrics.
Say no more.
Is this story about you screaming through the pickup and the guitar? Or
Yeah, it does have lyrics on it, and they are me screaming through an SG. In fact, originally I think we were going to make it like a segue into another song, but we got on that groove and played it for about 10 minutes and stopped.
Yeah, we couldn't get off.
And never knew what to do with it. So we just put loads of other stuff on it and separated it from the ballad and made another song of it.
Created a monster, didn't we? It was great watching Rick do the vocal performance, though. It was quite moving.
Hi, this is Rick Brewster from the Angels, and you're listening to our new album, Redback Fever.
Hi, this is James Morley from the Angels, and we're talking about our new album, Redback Fever.
G'day, this is Bob Spencer from the Angels, and you're listening to our new album, Redback Fever.
Hi folks, this is Doc Neeson from the Angels. Stay tuned for a few words from the band about the new album, Redback Fever. Hi folks, Doc here, and you're listening to Redback Fever. Check it out.
Hi, this is Brent Eccles from the Angels. We have a new album, Redback Fever, and instead of playing, we're talking.